Welcome back to MountainAdvantures. In this episode, we're going to cut yet more holes in the side of our van to fit another window, 2 solar fans, and a 4G antenna.
It's not a window that's designed for this van at all. It's actually for a Land Rover Defender. So this might be an interesting exercise. Excellent. Cool. Alright. We have it drawn. To try and stop the metal swarf from going everywhere when we cut, we're going to tape up some plastic sheeting and we'll be right back to you. Our swarf collection unit seems to be working pretty well. There's quite a lot down there and you can see the magnets are pulling their weight as always. As you might be able to see from the lighting, we have been at this a fair old while with not much visible progress. So we cut the hole with the jigsaw first time round, filed everything down, it was all looking good, but it was definitely too small. So we went at it with the jigsaw again and filed it down and held the window up, and it was still definitely too small. And then we repeated that process about, 20 times. Okay, we are back at the window 2 days later. We decided to stop trying to fit it because this last little locking trim or locking strip that Alex is currently holding was just not going in. And we couldn't figure out whether it was because we just cut the hole way too small or whether it was really awkward to get in, because we have read it's quite awkward. So we tried fitting the locking strip to that rubber trim without any window or anything, and it still didn't fit. It was really awkward to get in. It took us about an hour probably to get it in. So we've concluded that actually, no, it's super awkward to get in. We have no idea if the hole is too small. So before we go cutting it any bigger, we have bought what is called a locking trim or a locking strip tool, and it's this weird kind of device with a kind of eyelet in the middle and those slightly pointed ends. And basically what it's designed to do specifically is to fit these locking trims. So you run it around the outside of the rubber trim into the gap, and then in theory you run the locking trim through the eyelet kind of alongside it, and then push it into place, and that is meant to miraculously work. So we're going to give that a go, and we'll check back in with you in a bit.
Even with the tool, this was still a bit of a faff, and we didn't manage to quite get it all in on the first pass, but with a bit of wiggling we eventually managed to get it all in.
You may have seen when we were fitting it that we cut this outer rubber trim a bit too small. So we've plugged the gap there with a piece here, and then because of the curve we had to just put a small piece in up there with a bit of Sikaflex in behind it. And so far it's leak free, and I think the window looks pretty good.
It is very cold and windy today, so of course we have chosen today to cut more holes into our roof. The first hole we're going to cut is the solar vent for our bathroom. I've been taping up a bag inside. As you can see, this is some of just our spare plastic sheeting, and this is to hopefully help catch some of the swarf and stop it getting everywhere inside the van. So our hole is going to be coming through just about there, maybe somewhere.
Main event, we've got this 127mm hole saw, so that's the diameter. The actual fan itself wants 120mm, but oversizing the hole a bit doesn't matter because it's got quite a wide area. And this will be a lot easier than trying to get a jigsaw round, especially because there's so much other stuff on the roof. So this will work well. The way these solar fans work is they've got a small solar panel on top, and that charges an internal battery, and that internal battery has a capacity of about 30 hours or so. So without any extra solar power from a full charge, the fan will keep spinning for about 30 hours. So the 4G booster up here had a little screw on end cap, so we just undid that, drilled the hole, poked it through and screwed it back up from the inside, and then just put some Sikaflex on this front edge. It's a little bit wobbly, but I think that's mainly the roof moving. We have now driven the van quite a bit since then, and it stayed in place. It is now the highest thing on the roof when the fans are down. So we just got to be a bit careful going under any trees, hedges, low bridges, anything like that.
Okay, I'm going to give you a tour of the holes that we cut. So first and foremost is our lovely window over here, which I think was worth all the effort in the end, although it was much more difficult to fit than the bonded windows that we'd done before. The other holes that we cut are our two solar vents, so one here which is going to be for the bathroom, and one here which is going to be for our drying cupboard, because we're planning on going to snowy places, so that's a lot of wet gear. We wanted somewhere to put it that maybe wasn't just the bathroom all the time. Finally, we have the much smaller hole for our antenna. So this is our MiFi booster antenna to boost our mobile signals, and it just slots in through the roof there. So those are all the holes we cut, and I think we are now done cutting holes into the van. Wahey!
Ready?
Yeah. Wait, no. It's a mod on my screen.